This is one of the most rule-bound movies. Local women cannot marry outsiders. Boys must leave home at the age of 16. And martial arts schools cannot teach real martial arts. Outsiders must challenge 8 martial arts schools to open their own school. Under these layers of rules, the movie portrays a realistic martial world. To win a martial challenge, a 60-year-old man can kneel down and apprentice to someone younger, all for the sake of reputation and honor. He chose a local ruffian and a woman with a bad reputation, intending to use them and then discard them because it's the martial world's rule that someone must leave forever after successfully challenging the 8 martial arts schools. The ruffian is essentially an expendable pawn, and local women can't marry outsiders. He had no intention of marrying the woman either. However, as the story unfolds, both of them start to change him gradually, but he didn't expect the plan to proceed as usual. And after losing everything, he's prepared to escape. Downward oblique chop. Upward diagonal cut. Downward oblique chop. The weapon that Master Liu uses here is the willow leaf saber. Notice how Master Liu ties a red ribbon to the ring on the saber before he enters the field. In China, this is called the knife color, and it has 3 main functions. First, to wipe the blood off the blade. Second, to prevent the saber from falling off when used with one hand by tying it to the wrist. Third, to increase the flexibility of the saber when used with 2 hands by holding the ribbon with the back hand and using it as an axis to swing the blade. Holding a knife in the front hand, ready for battle. Hiding a knife in the back hand, waiting for the opportunity. This is the Wing Chun 8 chopping knives. Hidden knife in the arm technique. Plowing knife block. Chen blocked this knife, but he had to admit that Master Liu's knife skill was very high. Bow step stabbing knife. The subtlety of this technique lies in the fact that the blade is facing downward. Chen blocked the stabbing knife, but as long as Master Liu changed his move and chopped downward, Chen-Chi's right leg would definitely be lost. Notice here, the backhand holding the red ribbon attached to the ring at the end of the knife, instead of the knife handle, caused the lack of strength, and he had to give up this idea. Right hand knife cuts the front hand. Left hand knife chops off the red ribbon. Chest wipe throat seal. Martial arts is not so magical. A thought may have already decided the outcome. After all, the meaning of martial arts is to kill the opponent. The weapon he is holding is a single-edged sword, which looks very similar to the 8 chopping knives, but in fact, it is not the same kind. Knife salute. Shattered shadows of knives. Clamping the knife and rubbing the hand. At this time, the 2 people blocked each other's left-hand knife. The right-hand knife attacked on the upper road, temporarily tied. Stabbing the knife to block. Dan Shifu was about to exert his force, but Chen-Chi had already taken half a step ahead, pressing his arm and stabbing downward, sealing off Dan Shifu's left and right hands, and the outcome was decided. The third master to enter the stage was Master Liu, who wielded a weapon called King Long Ji, a long spear with a single crescent-shaped blade. His stance was very strange. In Chinese martial arts, it was called drip style. He could move left and right with his cross steps on the lower road, and he could chop down or lift up with his 2 hands holding the spear on the upper road. His technique and footwork combined attack and defense as one. But Chen Shi's attention was on the weapon on his back. There must be something hidden in it. His years of experience told him that he had to fight quickly and decisively. He intercepted with a horizontal stick, taking advantage of his later move, and directly knocked Chen Shi down to his knees. Seeing that Chen Shi was off balance, he wanted to finish him off with a downward chop. But Chen Shi's real purpose was to exchange for a chance to get close to him. He had to take a risk to end it quickly. Chen Shi blocked with his double knives, pressing down and slashing at Master Lu's leading hand, trying to disarm him. Master Lu simply went along with his plan, threw away his weapon, and drew out the knife behind his back, slashing at Chen Shi. This is what real Chinese martial arts are like. Without so many special effects and rounds, the outcome is decided in an instant. Horse knife piercing heart. Chen Shi's first knife was caught by the other party. Before he could react, Chen Shi's second knife was already aimed at the other party's wrist, trying to dislodge the other party's weapon. This weapon is called the Ziwu Mandarin Dukyu. Each yu has 4 points and 9 edges. It is a unique weapon used by the Bagua sect in China. There are a pair of yu, one male and one female. The practice of Ziwu Mandarin Dukyu is different from others. It walks in 8 directions, seeks changes in motion, and does whatever it wants. It is easy to attack and difficult to defend. Pulling the grass to look for the snake. This move, if this person is not a cripple, the outcome would have been decided already. And this man in black is Dong Shilong, who challenged the martial arts world of Tianjin 10 years ago, and was finally defeated by a conspiracy and had his leg tendons severed. Phantom stab. Chen Shi's left-hand knife was entangled again. After learning from the previous loss, Chen Shi moved his right-hand knife down a few inches, successfully intercepted the opponent's wrist. Seizing the opportunity, Dong Shilong had already expected this outcome. His legs were crippled. He could only rely on his weapon to catch the opponent off guard, but now several rounds had passed. The defeat was inevitable. This situation is very regretful. For both of them, Dong Shilong looked at Chen Shi, and he knew that Chen Shi could not defeat Zheng Shanao with his 8-slash knife. He then gave his own weapons to Chen Shi. It was a gesture of respect and recognition for Chen Shi, and also a challenge and rebellion against Zheng Shanao. This weapon is called a zhadao, which is a traditional Chinese agricultural tool. This was Chen Shi's second encounter with this weapon. The first time he used the 8-slash knife to counter it, he was swiftly overpowered, because the guard of the 8-slash knife was too short to trap the opponent's weapon. This weapon mainly relies on the wipe technique, as well as pushing, lifting and chopping. This time he switched his weapon, and the outcome might be different. Walking step pushing knife. Turning body disarming knife. When he originally wielded the 8 cutting knives, he had been at a disadvantage, but now after switching to the Mandarin duck mace, he felt enlightened. Dropping elbow pressing arm. Rolling body seizing. Hooking lock throat strike. Walking pushing Mandarin duck mace. Here, the old man swiftly changes to the supporting hand stance, attempting to strike down Chen Shi. Unexpectedly, the blade gets caught on the pointed spike of the Mandarin duck mace, getting locked in place. Hooking and entwining the knee pit, intercepting and severing the shin bone, hooking and entangling the throat, power splitting the horseshoe. lock breaking with the turned blade, horizontal wiping of the blade, seizing the position for blocking, seizing the position for a hooking, disarming the opponent's weapon. Chen discovered that when the old master initiates an attack, the first move with the back of the blade is directed towards himself, and the lethal move with the turned blade is directed towards the enemy. Therefore, the first move has no attacking power. Chen boldly moves in closer to the opponent, taking advantage of the opponent's blade turn to lock their weapon.
大人办事，下去吧。
Powerful splitting mount war quickly intercepted the opponent's blade before it fully came down. Unexpectedly, a reversing blade counterattack followed. If it weren't for his own Mandarin duck crescent blades in front to block it, he might have been beheaded directly. The true essence of this type of guillotine knife lies in finding the fulcrum of leverage, utilizing the point where the opponent's weapon interweaves. Then, by swaying in various directions, up, down, left, and right, it's used to strike and defeat the opponent. Chen felt the danger and immediately dodged. In his second attempt to attack, he realized that any attempt to lock the opponent's weapon would lead him into a precarious situation. Stepping draw. Initially, Chen thought that as long as he locked the blade, the opponent would have no way to counter. Unexpectedly, the situation is now completely the opposite. Back blade engagement. Chen changed tactics by blocking the blade's edge and the blade's back, preventing the opponent from forming effective leverage points. Rear neck bite was intended for a direct strike, but the opponent didn't provide that opportunity. Instead, they countered with arm press knife push, pinning Chen against the wall, creating a decapitating stance. The veins bulged as they executed a move called shape-shifting shadow, turning danger into safety. Chen emerged victorious, but he also gave up everything and fled Tianjin. Help but give up everything and flee Tianjin. Master Zhu also remarked, Wing Chun truly excels. In a simple sentence, it's the best summary of today's fight. First, it's an admiration for Chen Qi's impressive Wing Chun skills. Second, it highlights that Wing Chun can't establish a foothold in Tianjin and will forever vanish. Lastly, it signifies the passing of the era of the martial world.